Whether it be good or bad, they don't know us, so they can't make assumptions. If they were to sit here for a day and talk to us, and we talk to them, then maybe they could make an assumption and analyze. But you can't analyze something from watching a TV or an edited version of a family, whether it be good or bad.
How cute is she? That was 15 years ago, long before the Kardashians. She's dying. We had the Osbournes, Ozzy, Sharon, Jack, and Kelly, of course, who was just, how old were you right there?
I think I was 17 years old, maybe. Yeah, not even 18. And do you know what's really weird is that I was going to wear those earrings this morning. I found them recently. And
you still have them?
I still have them, yeah. As people know, I'm obsessed with my fashions, so.
We're going to get into that, but Kelly's written this great life lessons memoir she has learned growing up as an Osbourne. In her new book of letters, it's titled, There Is No Blanking Secret.
No secret.
Although that's not the word. We're going clean here. Kelly, looking at that clip, I mean, I'm just amazed how deep you were for just a 17-year-old.
I was in shock over that. Yeah. So I was like, wow. Like, maybe I wasn't as, like, crazy as I thought I was.
Yeah.
And maybe my problem was that I did know what I was talking about, but everyone told me I didn't. So that's why maybe I rebelled, because seeing that is just like, wow. And just to watch that, and, like, it's really painful for me to say that, because that's when my mom was sick. Oh. And it was just such a time in our lives that it was just insane.
Yeah.
You know, I went to sleep, you know, within the rock and roll world, they knew who I was my whole life. But I went to bed one night and woke up the next morning, one of the most famous people in the entire world, and had no idea why. Because I didn't really do anything. I just sat on my butt while people filmed me in my house, when you think about it. But now I've learned to realize that, you know, we created something, and we were the start of something that didn't exist before, and that's something to be proud of. Can you hear Polly over there? She's like, Mom, Mom, Mom.
By the way, if you hear that,
little
Kelly's
puppy.
little puppy.
They just took her out of the studio.
No, you started the Kardashians. This was the first look inside a real family, and the love is what you remember, the quirkiness and the wild. What do you remember most about that time?
The insanity, how every single day was so different, how you never knew what was going to happen, but how loved I felt at the same time, but also scared, because my mom was sick, then my dad got in an ATV accident, and I was going between an intensive care unit in Los Angeles and England, and it was just, it was a lot to deal with. And before writing this book, I wouldn't have been able to sit here and talk to you about this without crying. And so therapeutically, writing this has helped me so much, because when I did my audiobook, that chapter, Mom's Cancer and Dad's Accident, I cry on the audiobook because I couldn't get through it, no matter how many times I did it, without crying. And then I realized once I actually let that cry out, I could talk about it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt anymore, and I can share my experience with someone else who's going through it, so they know they're not alone. And that's one of the premises of this book, is that so people realize that you can be unique, you can be individual. It's just whether you can find, everybody is. It's just whether you can find it within yourself to be brave enough to show it to the world and not, you know, conform, because this unrealistic idea of perfection doesn't exist, and it's sanitizing us, because people don't care about people anymore. They only care about themselves and how they appear on their, you know, social media. And it's also because I don't have the right to sit here and complain about my media perception and my public perception if I'm not going to stand up and say, you know what, no, this is who I am, and I don't have a secret, and I'm not what you say I am. So I laid it all out on the table, and it made me feel really vulnerable, but I'm really proud of it. It took me 4 years.
I remember you were first on when you were starting it, and we were talking about it.
But I like how you did it, because you did it in a way where you're writing letters, and in some ways they become letters to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what helped you find your voice?
Well, when I was in, let's just say, a 28-day vacation without a bar, although it's known as rehab, the only way I could communicate with my loved ones was through writing letters. And I found that that was the best way that I could actually be heard the way that I wanted people to hear me, because I was, you know, it was coming from me. No one could mince my words, no one could interrupt me. And it's also so that people can pick up the book and read any chapter. You don't have to read it from start till finish. And I hope everyone gets something from it. And what I have found through signings, my book signings, is that mothers are buying my book to read to their sons. And when they told me that, I was like, that is unbelievable. Like, I didn't expect that. And it is that I don't have any age demographic, any sort of like racial demographic, nothing. It's anyone and everyone, and getting to meet the people who have given me what I have, who have believed in me from the beginning. Like, I met people on my book tour that started this website right when the Osbournes started, called kellyosbourne.org. And she wrote me this letter about how I helped her find a community of people that believed in her through being a fan of me. And now she has her career working online and building websites because of the group of friends she found through being a fan of mine. And that was just like, I've had so many crying moments on this book tour, like touching moments where people have told me just like stories about themselves. I had a girl tell me, you know, I can't actually say that because that's too personal. Like, people telling me just things that you wouldn't just walk up to anyone you don't know and tell. And it makes me feel so honored that they feel comfortable enough with me to ask me for advice.
Because it's all in there. As I was saying, the letters, the Dear Private Parts letter. I mean, that's a great chapter to read.
Can I say that word in the morning?
Sure.
It's medical. The Dear Vagina chapter.
I know, but I was thinking to read to young boys. It's fascinating, your take on it and sort of the culture that we are today.
It's just another human body part that's been put on a pedestal that's unrealistic. And you know, a lot of women use it in the wrong way. And it doesn't help. It doesn't give you the self-esteem you think it is. And my thing is, people have to have more respect for that part of the body.
And you said if it ever comes out, you're going to that farm back in England?
My farm that I grew up on in England, and I'll be like, bye. Like, I'll never be one of those girls that gets out of a car and is like, hi, I don't have any underwear on. Like, no, I would literally die. If I still care so much if I'm a daddy's girl. I walk into the house, and if I have a low-cut top on, my dad's like, pull that up.
I love that we don't know that about your dad. And you can't curse in your house either.
Not until we move to America.
Oh.